obviously being felt deeply by the people of Palestine, from the destruction of homes and infrastructure to the psychological toll on survivors. This war has reshaped lives in unimaginable ways. Join us as we explore the complex layers of this conflict and the global cause for justice, peace, and humanity. Let's find out how we can make a collective difference, inshallah. Joining me in the studio, I have two wonderful sisters, Sister Zainab Tayyib, and we have Sister Sayyidah Nisa Sayyid, who is here. Assalamu alaikum, sisters, and welcome to Urban Women.
Wa alaikum salam.
Absolutely wonderful having you both here. I think it's such a beautiful interview and topic that we're going to be obviously diving into. Our hearts feel the pain as we just speak about it. The energy is heavy because obviously naturally, mentally we're going there. It is also the 10th of October where we know it's about Mental Health Awareness Month. And you only think, what is the mental health condition of the Palestinians as well, because we're just seeing the physical destruction and it goes so much deeper. But before we jump into the interview, ladies, can you just tell us a little bit about each of you, just a little bit background? We'll start with you, Sister Zainab.
Okay, so I'm a practicing beauty therapist. However, took a great interest in mental health, and that led me to go back to studying, and I've got my honors degree in clinical psychology. And I do a lot of charity work and joined Sayyidah Nisa and Lubna Nadvi and all of them at the Palestinian Solidarity Movement. Ever since the war in Gaza has started, I think it's changed all of us, the way we think and how we're moving forward with life. And it's important to be there for them in every possible way we can. And having a movement like the Palestinian Solidarity Movement around us, it's the most important thing to do for us right now. Join them, make sure people out there know what's going on, make sure they know the truth about what's going on, and make sure people don't forget what is happening in Gaza and where it started from and how it has progressed and developed over the years and where it's actually sitting at right now. So that's where we stand.
So important, because I think if we're just focusing on mainstream media, we know, as you said, focusing on the truth. And that's why I think we're so lucky to have Instagram and where you're getting journalists directly from Palestine and Gaza and telling us and updating us so we can know the truth. The truth is
definitely
important.
I think with social media, that has definitely changed what we're seeing and what we're hearing, because it's not just mainstream media. It is what the people are feeling. It is who is there right now at that moment and what is going on. So in that way, it has really, really helped.
Truth be told, we're seeing the truth and the smoke screens are definitely being cleared up. Let's head over to Sister Sayyidah Nisa. Assalamu alaikum. Tell us a little bit about you. I know, welcome back to Urban Women. We've had you on, and there's so much we can touch on with you and deep dive with you, but we'll save that for another segment as we were chatting before the interview. But tell us a little bit about you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am a founder member of the Palestine Solidarity Forum. And I am also a survivor of a bomb scare, as well as I am the South African coordinator on the Global Network on Religions for Children. So my background is a rich history of defiance, protests, activism, and I can resonate with the people in Palestine and know how they feel and what it is to suffer. Mine was just minor, but the impact has been very great. Mental health, being for therapy to get yourself out of that scare is worse than getting a scar, a slap, a hurt. And so Palestine is very dear to us. In that, we have colleagues. I have colleagues from the GNI in West Bank, and I've met them, and I have a day-to-day conversation with them and many others. So for me, Palestine is in my DNA, and I cannot rest. At the moment, we are overwhelmed with the International Week of Resisting Genocide, and each human being on earth who stood up during this past week, as we observe 1 year, we all have been resisting.
Absolutely. I'm saying that this is a week where we're resisting genocide. And sadly, in Durban, we do have a specific hall that is actually promoting the opposite party. And you just saddened your heart to think, not a Sunday body, has that sense of humanitarianism in you. But anyways, let's jump into it. Tell us more about the Palestine solidarity also and the work that the movement does.
Currently, we brought together many Palestine solidarity movements, organization together to come and let's say what we can do as we observe 1 year. So many organizations joined and we called ourselves Witness to a Year of Genocide campaign group. We didn't want anyone to get more highlights than others. Some of us are foot soldiers. I don't like the word soldier, but we need to find another word, a term to identify. We are on the streets every Friday campaigning for a just and peaceful Palestine. So we came together and identified 4 events. And the first one was on the day of the International Resistance Week, on the 4th. We had a banner painting campaign, and we got lots of people come join, and we painted banner, very very apt to like killing of the children and how South Africa supports Palestine and so on. And on Saturday, the 5th, we had the march in Umhlanga. Alhamdulillah, what we need to do is numbers are not war game.
Mm-hmm.
Events are significant, and that is what we need to remember. And with Zainab, Lubna, Nasiha, and all of us, we said if we have a campaign and we have identified to do something on the day, and even if just one of us are present, we let it go. It's not that we're going to cancel it because one person. The important is the significance of the event and the significance of the day. On the Sunday, we had a very meaningful motorcade, and we left from the Overport Secondary School. But our main focus was to do something daring, and so we went to the official U.S. Consul General's house in Durban North.
Mm-hmm.
And our pit stops were supposed to be 5 minutes. We had many. But at the consul house, we went like even half an hour. And we just, in any campaign in solidarity with Palestine is peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
We may scream on the top of our voice, but there's nothing that will bring us to kill a fly.
Mm-hmm.
We're there for solidarity.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were very comfortable. We sloganized. We did what we wanted to. And the moment we were about to get into our cars and drive, the police SAPS came on and asked us to move. Alhamdulillah, no incidents, no nothing. Again, significant to us in Durban and KZN is to round up on the 7th, we had a picket at the Durban Holocaust and Genocide Museum Center.
Mm-hmm.
And so we felt, the 4 planned event should have a nice kind of ending.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had, and I just want to salute the people of Durban and South Africa for coming out in the large numbers in a working day and telling the rest of the world, no matter what our government has done, and we're very, very proud of our government on the National Court of Justice case and the International Criminal Court that we are taking America and Britain. It is also important that we as civil society raise our voices and talk about what's happening.
Let me ask, what drives the passion and the activism against the genocide for you ladies?
Very important is we've been part of the oppression in our country. We lived in apartheid. We lived in segregation. We had our own rights violated. And then we are angry, in inverted commas, by the superpowers who led us to be where we are. And the same with the condition of Palestine. Next month, on the 2nd of November, is Balfour Declaration, 17.
Uh-huh.
It breaks our heart sitting here thinking that these things have happened and humanity is silent on it. And South Africans will never do that. We'll never be silent.
Alhamdulillah. What about boycotts? Do you think that boycotts actually are making a significant difference?
I think it has. It definitely has a lot overseas. I think South Africa needs to come to the game in that because there's a lot of excuses. And if you look overseas and you see what boycotts have done to the major businesses, and then yes, we might be a minority, but there's a lot that we have on our shelves that we can stop using. And you find that there's a lot of excuses. Oh no, we don't have this. And the simple thing I say to everybody that has a problem boycotting a specific drink or a specific brand of food products or whatever, you cannot think about changing and not eating something. Let's think about the people that just don't have. And when you think about the people that just don't have, think about the fact that you want to say you stand in solidarity of Palestine, but irrespective, you are not giving your money physically towards a genocide, but that portion of it is going there. Yep. So you got to stop and think, am I with them or am I without them? And look around you, there is plenty substitutes. Absolutely. I thought about this before we came, and I had this conversation with friends at Eid. And it was the whole Burshi talk. Like, we can't not use this and we can't not have it. And I said to them, okay, I'm not in social media. I'm not one of those that really needs to know what's happening first and how and whatever else. And so whatever. So I said to them, think about it. How about going hashtag first Eid without burfi in support of Palestine? I mean, like really, you can give up a tin of cream. It's really not, it's not going to put an end to your day, but it's going to do something for your soul. It's going to do something to contribute, and it's going to do something to make a point. Because as soon as what you call supermarkets see we have products in the shelves that are not moving, they're going to start realizing we need to look elsewhere. If you don't prompt them into looking elsewhere, they're just going to continue, and that's it. And you would carry on saying, oh, I support Palestine, but really think, how are you supporting Palestine?
And then you'll see these items going on special. It's like, I mean, my family has so much of that and it's special, so I just had to
but it's a simple thing. How do you support Palestine? How do you see those children dying and you cannot change the brand of cold drink you drink, or you cannot change the brand of chips you eat, or you cannot change the brand of what you're using it? And the saddest thing is everybody travels these days. Everybody travels. If you go overseas, there is like supermarket stores full of alternative products. How about you put some space in your bag and just bring some back? I've done it. I'm going to be honest. As like my husband was like, "Are you crazy?" And I said to him, "I'm going to do this because I will not support them, or we just won't have this. Choice is yours." So
there's so many conflicting answers. As you say, you may call them excuses, and I think we will all label it. I'm with you. I do prefer boycotting. There's some that may say jobs and this and that. At the end of the day, it's something very personal. And when I hear people saying I cannot support monetarily to Palestine, but at the same time, where are you spending your money? It comes down to enough, because you're saying that there are alternatives. We know that there's always generic products or substitutes for everything. It's a matter of branding. That are enough. And again, it comes deep down to can we make that level of jihad? Is that our jihad?
I'm so happy you touched on that, because everybody goes on about, we weren't in the time of the Prophet ﷺ and we should have fought in those. This is our battle. The saddest thing is that there is so much of alternatives. When you say my kids can't have that, how about teaching them boundaries? That is teaching them to be humanitarians. When you tell your child, you know what, you cannot have this certain thing because this is how it's affecting someone else. Have a conversation. We're speaking about mental health. This is how you develop mental health. It's healthy conversations with your children, because that is what builds their character as they grow. So it's a very, very, very holistic approach to everything. It's like, okay, some people find there's a lot on our boycott list. Let's do 3 things. I'm not even saying 1, because you can't do 3. It's very, very easy to do 3. It is the excuses that we make. Seriously. And the saddest part is that we are 1 year into this with almost, I hope I'm not going to sound bad, but like there's almost no end. I mean, if you start to solve something else is coming up. So when are we going to look at what's in our homes and decide, you know what, enough is enough. If I can't go out there and fight for them, then this is my conscience, this is my guilt, this is me, and this is how I want to grow myself as a human being. Because bottom line, it is about you. You know, when you speak about mental health and it's about you, look at yourself and look at the choices you are making and look at how it's affecting the world out there.
And the sad thing is, the reality is we have a choice. We have choices. Go for that. Being very funding and supporting the Israelis, or go for the alternative. Because at the end of the day, the Palestinians don't have a choice. They're not getting food. They're not getting water, sanitation, basic necessities. When we're talking about our children can't do without that, those kids have nothing. And sometimes, or most of the time now, they don't even have parents. Allahu Akbar. So again, coming down to a very important word that you use, that I use all the time, and I think dictates myself, is consciousness. It's your level of consciousness, each to their own. Everybody has a very, very different perspective to this. And I must say, I'm in alignment with your thoughts.
So I always thought each to their own as well. That when it's after 1 year, somebody's got to start having this big conversation about we need to boycott. We need to look at what is in our plates, what is in our cupboard, and we need to start boycotting. If I don't eat this today, I can't eat that tomorrow.
Yes, Chef Samira sends out a message. It says, such a powerful conversation. I fully agree with her. I say the same thing. Don't support a genocide. Don't drink the blood of the Palestinians. Those are my sentiments, exactly. It's so sad to say that some of our Muslim brothers and sisters in our community don't understand this. Well, as Sister Zainab would say, excuses. You know what? I'm with you there. I try my best to boycott, because at the end of the day, if we are supporting, then you support. Otherwise, if there were enough coming in, and I think we need to call a spade a spade. But at the end of the day, yeah, everybody has their level of how they're seeing it. And again, comes back to that. It is time for us to wrap up. Unfortunately, ladies, it is 11:56. It's been so wonderful having you both on, but we will communicate again, inshallah. We will have you back again. There's so much more that we need to talk about, especially Sister Steve. Such exciting news to share, but I'm going to keep that for the suspense of our listeners. And inshallah, we'll have you back on next week sometime. Until then, ladies, may Allah shall accept all your efforts. And I'm just thinking, Sister Zainab went from being a beauty therapist to mental health, and that is, obviously such a transformation, because working on beauty, superficial, to the mental health, to such depth within ourselves, and it's beautiful. Ladies, anything that you'd like to say in 30 seconds as we wrap up?
I think it's very important. I want to emphasize what Zainab said. The boycott list is very, very big. Let's today, each one who's listening to us, say, I'm going to boycott 3 items. Like for us in the solidarity movement, we boycott as many as possible. And rightfully, you can do without it.
That's so true. Jazakallah khair for that, tapping on people's consciousness here. How do you feel about it? But ladies, that's a wrap for now. It's been wonderful having you, Sister Zainab Nisa, in the studio with you from Palestine Solidarity Movement. Allah shall accept your efforts once again. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
صلاة سلام على المصطفى رسول إيمان